Shalom, praise the Lord, gloria a Dios. As usual, I always come up with something new. Today we will talking about Isaiah chapter 52, 53. We're talking about Isaiah 9, Isaiah 11, and Daniel 7, 13. All those things I am talking about today, only reason to let my friend Greg and William Hole and Tobias Singer, because every time they put video, only reason I'm bringing this thing because he always talk about Christians and we don't need to.
Do you belong to a certain church? Is there a church that you belong to? Do you belong to a special church? No? It's amazing. Jews for Jesus. Brilliant. Do you know what it says in Isaiah? Do you know what it says in Isaiah 54? What does it say there? Isaiah 52?
I got into an argument with somebody. The cops told me don't get into Bible verses.
All right.
I think 52 all the way to 54 is the suffering servant.
Well, what does it say in 54?
Whole chapter, man. I'm not going into it right now.
It's a whole chapter.
Whole chapter.
Do you know what it says in 53? So 53 you know, but 52 and 54 you don't know.
No.
You know, what does it say in 54?
I don't get fucking interviews, okay? So
All right.
leave me the fuck alone.
All right.
Well, the guy standing on the street with a sign, you figure you give an interview.
And he was not happy with that. I asked him, tell me, what does it say in Isaiah chapter 54? I mean, you're really concerned about Isaiah 53. What does it say in the chapter before and chapter after?
Leave them alone. Christian people are not harming us. And by talking all the time and trying to prove them wrong, you making yourself fool. Like the last video that I saw, that you were approaching this guy and asking him about if you read the Isaiah chapter 53. And he said yes, and then you say you read the 52, and then you said the 54. And what you did is agree with him. You did agree with him. Leave those guys alone. If they think they receive the salvation by believing in Jesus Christ, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Why go and resist them? And it says that if you resist them, okay, rather than overcome them, you are resisting them, and what will come? The answer will come back with a bad. And that's what he did. He used the F word. And that's no good. And I've been telling again and again that it's not worth it to change anybody or go into anybody's religion. And if you are Jew and if you think that God is with you, then stay in your course and let your own children and your community know and make them strong to just believe in God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You don't have to prove the whole world that they are wrong. Even though, let me tell you, those scriptures you bringing, you need to understand yourself and you need to read more. Because you never, you are just like talking like those Muslim guys. One of the guy was Didat, that he died. He knew a lot of scriptures. And so do this another guy, Dr. Nair from India. He knows even Bhagavad Gita. Even Bhagavad Gita he knows, and he knows the Quran, and he knows the Bible. But one thing I see, he don't talk about Jew. But he did talk about the Muslims and Hindu all the time. Now, why you all want to change each other? When you think that God is with you and they think that God is with them, then leave everybody alone. In his time, he said, in his time, he will open the book. He will let everybody know. Now, you talking about Isaiah 9, that he is not talking about the Moshiach. Because he's talking about some kings. No, he's not. Read properly. Because on Isaiah 9, he talks about mighty God. If it was about some son of some king, he won't use mighty God. The word mighty God. He is talking about the Moshiach, because the Moshiach is a chosen one. And remember in the Psalms, it says that if God chooses you as his own, then you are a little God. And that's what he's talking about. In Isaiah 9, if I read for you, this is what it says. And you can read in the top. You're not talking about Gentile. When it starts from the Gentile will see the light. Look at this, what it says in the beginning. I'm going in the context because that's what you want, and you say, bingo, bingo, B-I-N-G-O, bingo is my name. That's what you do, bingo, or pow. No, there is no bingo over here, because you need to explain. There is no bingo. Listen, nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who were in distress. In the past, he humbled the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the future he will honor, he's talking about future now, honor Galilee of the Gentiles by the way of the sea along the Jordan. He's talking about again future. And if you go down, it's talking about the people who walk in the darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of the death, a light has dawned. You have enlarged the nations and increased their joy. They rejoice before you. Now, if you go down there, then it says, for to us child is born. Listen to me. Now you're talking about this is not the Moshiach. Let's read. I read in the beginning. Now we're going to read in the bottom, and I will explain to you better. Look, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulder. It never happened. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and the peace, there will be no end. He will reign on the David thrones and over his kingdom, establish and upholding it with a justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. Now you tell me that's the promise God gave it to King David, that one day in your throne I will put one of your sons. He will be my son and I will be his father. That's what he's talking about. Chapter 9, Isaiah chapter 9. He is talking about Moshiach. Let's go to Isaiah 11. Now, don't tell me that I haven't read the chapter in beginning. Now, chapter 11 is talking about a shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From the root, a branch will bear the fruit. And you know what? What a weird thing. That's what you said. Because you don't see no tree. If there is a stump only, there is no tree. Yes, tree is missing, but there is a stump. It doesn't say tree's been cut off. Tree's been cut off. He's talking about, remember when he said in the 2 Samuel 7:13, one of your own blood and flesh, from your own loin. That's what he's talking about. One of his own son will come from that stump. From that stump, the shoot will come out, which is in the end time. Which is in the end time. Listen, this could be proof that Well, I know because I was up there and I have seen the one who live on the earth. I have seen them in the heaven. Now, you cannot comprehend me, I'm sorry, but I have seen the living one in the heaven. So let me tell you, if I am the Ben David, which is I am the Moshiach, then my father, earthly father, could be the King David. And my grandfather was Jesse. That could happen. He can do anything he wants. If he can bring some man in the cloud from heaven up to down without seeing the whole world, he can do whatever he wants. So my friend, over here is same thing they're talking about. Listen, read. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse, from his root a branch will bear the fruit. Now branch will bear the fruit, not branches, not the branches. You need to understand the diagram of the tree, complete tree. How many branches comes out from the tree? And branches are different. Branch are one. If the tree when grow up, he has some branches and branch, and then from there the birds comes out, and then there is what they call something. But anyway, then the branches are coming out. But God never promised King David, your descendant will be. Never. It's always one of his own blood and flesh. So the root is there, the stump was there, and now the shoot come out. And from that shoot, the branch came out. That's what he's talking about. And look what it is. And also, the another things that he always talk about, that there is a Moshiach each and every generation. There is no Moshiach in each and every generation. Forget it. There is, he said, I am, generation to generation, I am your God. There is no other God. That's what he is talking about. He is not talking about Moshiach in every generation. Moshiach will come in the end of the days. That's why Jacob said that I see him in the end. He couldn't able to tell anything. When the Shiloh will come and gathering of the people, which is in the end. There is no other Moshiach is coming on each and every generation. So over there you are wrong. Chapter 9 is talking about King David. When it goes below there is King David, I want you to read in the context for the other people. Just don't put that one and switch the topics to Zechariah, to somewhere in other chapters, and then start talking some stories. Let me tell you, about before June of 1999, I was in a business. And according to I'm from India, and we generally call that you can make anybody, you can make people bow down to you if you know how to. And so one day this guy come to me, which is one of my friends, says, Sammy, come on, man, I need to invest some money. And I saw this guy is making money and they're having some a party over here. And they charge $50 to get in. I said, listen, I don't want to go over there, but I went with him. And it was like a pyramid kind of things. This guy speaks so fluently, so beautiful, tie and suit and everything. And there were about 500 people, and it was, he made money, plus they were selling the stuff, which is $500, and he was showing he was in a Bentley and big old house in California, New York, Dubai, everywhere. 2 weeks later, The same guy came to my place, alcoholic, full of alcoholic, with a junky clothes. But what he was doing, he brought down most of the people over there. So there are people, they will talk, but they do not produce anything. Either you produce or stop. I think so. You're hurting community. You're not doing good thing, I'm telling you. Why am I telling you? I don't know. But remember, in the end, synagogues and the church, rabbi and the pastors will be judged first before anybody else. So now, in the 11th chapter, a shoot will come up from the stump of the Jesse, from the root of the branch will bear the fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest upon him. Spirit of the wisdom and the understanding, the Spirit of the counsel and the power, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. He will not judge. And you know, on chapter 11, in fact, he is not talking about David. In 9, he's talking about David. From the David throne. Of course, 11th chapter is all about the Moshiach. Now, Isaiah chapter is fully about Moshiach bringing back everybody to home, also talking about the punishment, that my people did wrong. Now, let me tell you, the servant that you're talking about, servant is Israel. On that 53 chapter, when he talks about servant, yes, he says, you are my witness. But read in the chapter 53 above and below. And then he says, my chosen servant. God have a chosen servant. Israel, he is his possession. Yes, he loves Israel. Israel have a 12 tribe. The Jacob have a 12 tribe. He always mentioned Jacob. Jacob, my servant, which Israel. Yes. But then Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, King David, the King Saul, the Samuel, they all are his servant, anointed servant. They are the one the scenes of everybody. They are the one bring everybody to kingdom. They are the one give them the message what God was giving them. What King David did. Yes, he did sin. But he was God's chosen servant. So servant and the witnesses are not the same. He said, my chosen servant. Why he didn't say Israel again? Or you are my witness and you are my witness. He could have said second time also that. But no. The sentence changed suddenly from witness and then the servant. He could have said in the first place that you are my servant and you are my witness. It didn't happen. So 53 chapter, when you read, now his debate is with the Christian people. Now he said that it's not about Jesus, it's about Christians. It's about Israel, all Israel. And then he stopped at the one of the scriptures when instead of supposed to be him, it's a them in Tanakh. I got Tanakh over here. Here you go. Look at this Tanakh. And I have the Bible. And I read both. And they both have similarity. And nothing is changed. And when you talk about the Tanakh is the Tanakh and the Bible is the change words and this, you putting Jewish people down. Because that's what Muslim people always talk about. Oh, look, their Bibles are corrupted. Our Bibles are not corrupted. If God give you whatever in your hand and he wants to reveal you, that verse will be here. Remember, you cannot take not even single word out of this and add into this. It says in the Torah and it says in the Bible. So, my main thing is that you both are wrong over there. You both are wrong. He's not talking about Jesus in this, and he's not talking about Israel. He's talking about the Moshiach, the son of King David, that he will come in the end. He will get a prolonged life. Not that Israel is going to get the long life. No. The prolonged life is given to Moshiach. He will come back. He was suffering or whatever. You need to find out who was that suffering servant. If it is not Jesus, then somebody else. You need to figure it out. There is somebody else, because Jesus came in the middle when Isaiah is talking about the end of the days. He's talking about the end of the days, that this person will have a prolonged life and he will see his offspring, and he will be in the end also suffer. When he will suffer, then he will see the light. It was talking about this Moshiach. This Moshiach is over here on the earth. He is the Ancient of Days. Now let me tell you that I need to read in Tanakh, Daniel chapter 7:13 and Daniel chapter 7:13 in whatever you will call the Old Testament of a King James Version or NIV or whatever versus Tanakh. It says, as my vision continued that night, I saw someone in NIV says, I see someone look like Son of Man, coming with the cloud of heaven. On Tanakh it says, I saw someone look like man. It doesn't say Son of Man. It says, someone look like man coming with the cloud of heaven. And listen, over here it says, he approached the Ancient of Days. In Tanakh it says, he approached one of the Ancient of Days. What is one of the Ancient of Days? That means there are so many Ancient of Days. Somebody in the past. It's not talking about God. But now listen. So it says he approached the Ancient of Days and he led him into his presence. And the Tanakh says that they brought him to the Ancient of Days. Now listen. And then if you talk to any rabbi, the rabbi, it should listen. If one of the ancient days means there are so many of ancient days, and so there are so many gods. If one of the Ancient of Days, and if you think the Ancient of Days is a God, then you are talking about there are more than one God. There is more than one God. It's in Tanakh. It's in Tanakh. I am not arguing with you over here, but it makes, in fact, much easier for me to make you understand that Son of Man came in the cloud and rest upon me. He is the one you're looking for. Listen, he's not going up there. If he's going up there, then who's going to be on the throne on the earth? He has to be down over here. Either the way you're saying that Messiah will come two ways. I say three ways. Two ways. On his time, or earlier. If he comes earlier, he will come as a humble on a donkey, as in Zechariah chapter, or he will come miraculously in the cloud. So if he's coming in the cloud, then he's coming down over here. So you are expecting that Moshiach will come in the cloud. And he's already came. But it wasn't for everybody to see. He is already here. Son of Man came in the cloud and he approached me. If he approached the Ancient of Days, he approached any of the person on the earth other than me, then that person would be also Ancient of Days. It says one of the Ancient of Days. One of the Ancient of Days. And look what does it say and what he's going to get. He is, let's see, over here. Okay, so this is what it says. He came up to the one of ancient days. What is one of? Either it has to be Ancient of Days, not one of. So this is what over here, he came up to the one of the Ancient of Days, and they brought him before him. They brought him before him. Before where? To him, to Son of Man, and this person become a one. That's what he's trying to say. He was given dominion. Who was given dominion, honor, and kingship, that all people, nations, and language would serve him. His dominion would be an everlasting dominion that would never pass, and his kingdom would never be destroyed. Now, on this other one, it says that they will worship him. They will worship him. Yes. And over there, they are wrong, no doubt. They are wrong. This Moshiach, I don't want to get into that because I don't know myself when I will be sitting on my throne what will happen. But according to their Bible, it says that people will worship him. Over here, it says he was given dominion, honor, and kingship, that all people, nations, and language would serve him. His kingdom would be an everlasting dominion that would never pass. So this Son of Man or man who came in the cloud has to come down to the earth to see the one of the Ancient of Days. According to them, it makes sense. Tanakh makes sense. But how come it doesn't make sense to you all? That I don't understand. Because you always talk about Daniel, that the Son of Man comes in the cloud and approach. He went and God see the Ancient of Days. But then you all say that we will see him as a miraculously coming in the cloud of heaven. So no matter, he's coming down to the earth to receive his dominion, his inheritance, what God had promised to King David, to Daniel. As for you, go your way until the end. Even if you read in the Daniel chapter 12 over here in Tanakh, let me read that one and you will understand. Even ordinary men can understand that God have promised him to come back. Look at this. He said, go Daniel, for the matter are obscured and sealed until the time of the end. They will be educated, elucidated, and clarified, and refined by many people. The wicked will act wickedly, and none of wicked will understand, but the wise will understand. From the time the daily offering was removed and the mute abominations put in place, 1,290 years. Praiseworthy is he who awaits and reach 1,335 years. As for you, now God is talking to, or angel is talking to him, to Daniel. He says, as for you, go your way. As for you, go to end. He says, go to end. Okay, what does that mean? Go to end. So God is telling him that you are coming back. I'm going to bring you back. Go to end. He said, as for you, go to end. You will rest. Right now you will rest. Then, arise for your portion at the end of the days. If there is an end, there is the end of the days. Am I right or wrong? If there is end, there is no end of the days. Everybody's finished. But it says, end of the days, you will receive your inheritance, your portion. The portion he's talking about in Isaiah chapter 53, and in the end that he will distribute the spoil that he get from those corrupted people. His inheritance, the one 2 Samuel 7:13 that God had promised him. Now, if I am wrong that what I have told you, then please tell me that I'm wrong, because every time, if you read chapter 53, it's talking about some person from beginning to the end. He's talking about him, and then suddenly, where they come up with a them. I mean, if you read, it's confusing when it's talking about that bore the sin of their own sin they bore on themselves. It doesn't make any sense. Somebody has to bore the sin, but on themselves, it don't work. Then it will be you are getting double the sin. It is totally bingo. Wow! It is, please. I am not going to go and read from Deuteronomy and then Joshua and then go back to Hosea and no. I'm not gonna divert you. I'm going to read the scripture straight on the top and the bottom. You want to read chapter 52? I read chapter 52. In fact, 52 is talking about here. In fact, it's talking about the same thing. Look, see, my servant will act wisely. He will be raised and lifted up and highly exalted, just as there were many who were appalled at him. His appearance was so disfigured beyond that of any man. Now listen. And his form marred beyond the human likeness, so will he sprinkle many nations. Will. He said will. It haven't happened yet. Haven't happened. When he will sprinkle in one day, all the nations' sins will be disappear. That's what he's talking about. He gonna sprinkle many nations, and king will shut their mouth because of him. Never happened. The king never shut down. In fact, we got some more kings and fighting each other right now. We have a wars going on. But when this Moshiach will come, their mouth will be shut. How? Only time will tell. You have to have a faith in the word. If you have a faith in the word, it will happen. I have so much faith. I have only fear of the Lord. I have no fear of nobody. You can say, I am not fine. Fine, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. It's one less for me. Okay? But let me tell you, before you open your mouth and tell me idiot or any other word, think. Please think. Do not say any word. Either you say something good or don't say nothing. Yes or no. He say always say yes or no. Don't say any more. You do not want to say bad word, don't say. But look what it says. So will he sprinkle many nations, and kings will shut their mouth because of him. For what they were not told, they will see. They may have told, but they haven't told this one. And they haven't see how they're going to shut everybody's mouth. And what they have not heard, they will understand. So they will come to know. They will come to know, and they will come and they will shut their mouth. They will stop everything. So Isaiah 52 is talking about the same person on Isaiah 53. It doesn't talk about the whole Israel. Israel is his chosen people, yes. And sometimes yes, in the Torah you will heard, yeah, they are my servant. No, the chosen servant. Look for the chosen servant, because God have a chosen servant that he knows that they can finish the job. You got to have that kind of guts to fight and stand. Like me, I'm standing 24.5 years, no matter what happened, no matter what people say, no matter what my family say. Doesn't matter what Alex say, my producer say, but I do what God tells me to do. He said, put the video. Relax, I relax. But let me tell you, when I said from the stump, the tree was been cut off long time ago, remember? Tree was cut off. This is going to be the new stump, new shoot, new. Is going to be the offspring. I will see the offspring. I will see my branches, my descendant. That's what God is talking about. I am not the descendant. I am the son of King David. And I am the adopted son of King God. I've been telling you for years, I am the Moshiach. I am the Shiloh. I am the branch. I am the son of King David. I am the adopted son of King David. I am the prolonged one. I am the revelation. I am who I am sent to you. I am the branch. I am the messenger of the covenant. I told you all those titles, which Jesus never told you. I told you 100 times. My titles are totally different. So that tells you that whoever this person in Isaiah chapter 53 is not Jesus. Because I am not Jesus. I am not, and I'm not going to tell you. I am looking at who was another person that in the Old Testament was suffering. Now you can say, okay, the whole Israel was suffering, but then there is a chosen servant who most suffer. People suffer in their life. We suffer every single day. There are people suffering in this earth every single day. You have seen the children are separated from their mom and dad when they are on drugs and everything, and the children go foster home to the foster home to the foster home to the foster home. You don't know what they go through. See, wars are everywhere. The children are suffering. They do not have no food. They are eating 1 meal a day. Suffering is more than what we're talking about Jesus right now. We suffer for years. For years. What about them? What about those children? They haven't seen anything yet. And they've been suffering all over the world. I'm talking about from Africa to India to USA, everywhere. Right now, you go to anybody's home in United States and open their refrigerator, there are 70% of the people don't have enough food. They go day-to-day basis. That's not called suffering. What about other than USA? USA still have the money, but what about those third world countries? What about the Mexico, the Guatemala, El Salvador, South America, North America? They all are suffering. We all are suffering. We need Moshiach. We need God to enter now. And you have You have, because you said, Isaiah 60:22, that either Elijah will come also. You said Elijah will come, but Elijah also, the Malachi chapter says, he may come, he may not come. If we don't change, then the God will himself, he will bring his Moshiach. But on 60:22 he says that if you are married, he will come slowly. If you don't, then he will come miraculously. But you all are married. I am here. I've been telling you for 3.5 years. You just have to take the step of faith. Like I have that faith that I am telling you who I am. It's not easy. You think so it's easy to just tell you who I am? Because I have to tell you, I have no choice. The world is going upside down, and these coming 2 months, I have a feeling that USA will come up with something new. Also, you know what's going on over here in the politics. The Trump, they want Trump back. And he may come back, even though he just lost $500 million. It's a peanut. People, look at this, they stop. They are with him, and they stop all the truck going to New York. Just think about it, where we are going. We're heading for civil war. We're going for a problem with food and the supplies. The price is going to jack up so much that people won't able to afford it. And day by day you can see. It's all over the world. When USA fall, the whole world will fall. And one act of wickedness will destroy the whole world. And that's what the wicked people are waiting for. They want to destroy the world because they do not have too much time. I think I made my point to make you understand this video. If you are Noahide, please watch me. Please watch me. I am here for everybody, the whole world. Doesn't matter who you are. God has sent me. Even though I'm Hindu, I don't talk bad about Hindu right now. I know they're worshipping idols. They're worshipping idols, but on his time, God will reveal them. There are good and bad people everywhere. We cannot ignore nobody. We should love each other. That is the new commandment. Love each other. Thank you, and God bless you.